You're listening to the podcast where we talk about life, sports, family, and everything in between. Welcome to Just Talking Out Loud with your hosts, Ron and Terry.
Hello and welcome to the podcast Just Talking Out Loud. I'm Ron.
And I'm Terry.
Welcome to season 2.
Yay.
Well, before we get, I'm going to tell you what we're going to talk about today. I was thinking about this. We only got a chance to do 2 bonus. And I think it was early on.
I think we would have done more if we could get the ice cream and stuff we wanted to do, but we couldn't get. That's why we didn't follow through with some of our taste testing.
Yeah, and the donuts didn't work out either. We were going to get the donuts.
Yeah, they didn't have what we wanted. We tried, but
yeah, we tried different things, but it just wasn't.
It
wasn't just that. It was other things too, which we're going to talk about in a second. Today's show is going to have a couple subjects, and we're going to talk about our vacation, or summer really, and lack thereof to a certain extent, and how fast it's gone. We'll talk about that. Some other subjects we're going to bring up is, because I built this giant shed that I'm sure we'll be bringing up, because I get a lot of comments about this shed that I built over the last month, would you say?
6 to 8 weeks.
6 weeks? Okay. So we still have more to do. But anyway, not construction-wise, just now it's a tedious stuff, the painting.
And physically going through and not putting in things that we don't want in there.
Right. And you got to paint all those cracks.
Yes.
And yeah, it's very time consuming. But anyway, we're going to talk a little bit about that. But what also is coming up on today's show, we're going to talk about, as we're going through all this stuff, a friend of mine, Mona, was talking about, they love when I throw their names out there. I'll throw Diane's name out there too, because Diane has the last 2 times, she's gotten us some really good corn.
Yes, it was very good.
So if that keeps it coming in, that helps, if that helps, I'll mention your name a lot more, but that corn has been fantastic.
Yes.
Sarah actually got us some corn too.
That was very good. Yeah.
And they also surprised me, because yesterday they were here, and our grandson was here, and my oldest son, and they were talking about, they had a subject for the podcast.
But they forgot what it was. They didn't write it down.
Well, I hope they remember.
Hopefully they will remember. Yeah.
So hopefully season 2 will be a lot more of those 2, because they're really good. And maybe RJ and Lauren will come back on. And hopefully Nathan and Alexis, we can get them on too. But today's show is basically going to be about, as we're going through stuff, Mona was talking about going through her kids' art projects and things that she won, like competitions you won, trophies. And we're going to talk a little bit about that, because what do you do with it if they do or don't want it?
Right now we're trying not to put anything that we haven't used in the last 10 years back into the shed.
Right. Because, we finally got our garage back. We're also going to talk about, and this is something Terry can maybe think about, because I've been thinking about it, and I don't know if I have. Do you have an old piece of clothing? What is the oldest piece of clothing you have that you still wear today? Think about that. And we're going to finish up this segment with some dumb things you thought of as a child. Then after a break, we'll come back. And this one I just saw today, because I had other ideas. I have a lot of ideas running through my head. But I think once we start talking, sometimes we vary on the difference, which is fine. That's what it's all about. Photos of your pet, photos of your kids. What do you think you have more of? You might be surprised about that one. And we're also going to talk about...
I can answer.
I can't read my own writing. This is really pitiful. What was this say? So if you're in a relationship or you're starting a relationship and you go on a date, 1 in 3 people say eating this is a relationship breaker. So
anchovies?
No, it's a little more common than anchovies.
Fish.
No. Fish. I mean, well, I don't know. We'll figure that out.
Okay.
In the second part. All right. So let's start with our summer. We had, like I said, we had done 2 specials, bonuses. We had one. You and I were down by the pool, and then the second one.
We wanted to compare the Oreos and the
there was a Ritz.
Peanut butter and
we should
and
just
Oreos.
do that on our own, because we don't have
We're
to
gonna
have
to go get everything separately to do that, though, because we can't get their product.
It was a half Ritz cookie and a half of Ritz cracker with peanut butter.
Yeah, Oreo cookie.
Yeah, so it was all like smashed together. We could just do that on our own.
Yeah.
And then we were going to do the ice cream through Krispy Kreme ice cream, which Zach had gone and they didn't have any idea what he was talking about because I guess it was
test
sites
in certain places.
Test sites. So we didn't get a chance to do that.
And then we were going to get the ice cream donuts then and test them, and they
didn't.
Were out of them couple of days we went. They said, "Oh, we'll have them in the morning," but then we weren't available in the morning. So.
No, and then it kind of I think things just kind of got away from us.
Oh, because we started the shed.
Well, not till 1 week before vacation. It was that weekend.
Right, but once we started the shed, we were like we've been consumed. On the weekends, anyhow.
Well, yeah, we had to do it around a friend of mine who actually really built the shed. I was just more or less
helpers,
moral support, I think. But
we held the walls up.
No, we did a lot, and it was funny how fast when you started thinking about.
To think we only worked mainly on Sundays on it.
30 some hours, I think, altogether. If you add up the hours, and which is not bad, but it does take up your weekends. For the most part.
And because that's the only time we could work on it.
And then the size of the shed came into play also. It
is bigger than both of our extra bedrooms.
I think if you put them together, it's still bigger than the two.
It might be.
And then that's the other thing is too, we're not in the sunroom. We are, we don't really,
Fenn's room.
We're in Fenn's room. Well, who knows what his room is going to be. Down the line, but
could end up being my mom.
Yeah, it could be. So we were in the sunroom, and it got to the point where it was just in the way, and we weren't doing a lot of podcasting. So then we did some specials. We did one down by the pool, and then we did one in the kitchen, sort of dining room, with Sarah and Zach. And now we're regulated back to the back bedroom because it's not something we keep up because I don't want it to be kind of in the way. But I think it would be easier if it was up. I think we'd be say, hey, let's go.
We would maybe find a steady day like Tuesday night or a steady time to do it if it was set up.
What made it nice, our plan today was, by the way, happy Labor Day, because this is our first season. Season 2 starts on Labor Day. So happy Labor Day to you. Maybe you're listening to it while you're picnicking. Right. That's fun. That'd be great. We'll take that. But what we were going to do today was supposed to be 90 some degrees, and we were going to sit by the pool, just because we hadn't really, other than this weekend, because of the shed, because of other things going on. Summer just kind of got away from us, I think.
Yeah, we haven't been down at the pool since I went back to work, so more than 2 weeks,
And it's frustrating because, you get to the point where you want to use it. And we're getting to that time. I think that's the part that's sad.
When me and Rigby cry because we pulled the cover over.
Pull the cover over. And that's the sad part is Labor Day weekend is that, because some people think, I think I talked about this in one of our specials, or maybe I did it on our radio station, FM 7 The Drive. If you haven't listened to that, it's on Live 365. August 1st, a lot of people feel like August 1st is the last day of summer.
August or September?
No, August 1st, which seems to me like early.
It's too early. I figure September. Sometimes we have an Indian summer in September, and we usually keep our pool open till the end of September or early October.
I always thought of Labor Day. Labor Day for me was
the end of summer, but sometimes we have a good hot week where we get 1 or 2 more weekends after that out of the pool.
Well, it's supposed to be really nice, and hopefully it is nice on the day at Labor Day that this comes out, but it's supposed to be nice the whole week. So maybe we'll get, and then we're keeping the pool open a little longer because we've got a liner issue and we're hoping to get it measured, and it's a whole nother story about that because you know how I like to tidy things up. And this big shed that I built is 12 by 20, by the way, and it is big.
It's
Probably bigger than I thought it was going to be.
It's as big as an efficiency apartment.
Yes, I've had people that want to rent it out.
You could put king-size furniture, king-size bed and 2 dressers in there and walk around.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
No problem.
Yeah, I've had people say, hey, you renting that out? All the jokes come out. If you put water and electric down there, you got yourself a little efficiency. Well, not even efficiency. It's bigger than an efficiency.
Yeah, you could make it into a little room, yeah.
I mean,
you could have a bedroom and it could be a 1-bedroom.
It definitely
now,
could
then
be.
the queen size bed or the king size bed wouldn't fit in there if you put a wall in there, but
separate the.
Yeah, then but the way it is now, a king size.
If worse comes to worse, we could use it as our sex shed.
Oh,
remember? Because people were building. What was the name of that show? How to Build a Sex Room.
Yeah,
and they built that shed out in the middle in the countryside. We could do that. I'll hang some chains and some stuff.
Then everyone knows when you're in there what's going on.
Yeah, if the sheds are rocking, don't come knocking. So that's pretty much been our summer. Hopefully we did go on vacation. We went to the Outer Banks, and Fenn got his first taste of the beach, and he's young. He didn't really. Terry put him down the water, and he was scared
because it was kind of cold.
It was very cold.
Me and Laura kind of went woo, and then we kind of scared him, and then he just cried.
And then Nathan and Alexis had that little pup tent sort of. That really did work.
Well, for the dog, and we ended up putting him in it. Yeah.
Yeah, it did work because Anika wasn't going in there.
Yeah, Anika wasn't.
She wanted no parts of that thing.
Anika don't want no parts of the beach, but she
did great though.
With it, yeah.
He didn't like the sand on his feet, and again, he was only 13 months at that point, so he was kind of young.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but we had a good time with him. So then that ended, and then we came back to the shed and all the mess, and and we're still kind of dealing with, even this room itself looks like a bomb went off. I mean, there's just stuff everywhere.
Yep.
That's all you got to say is yep.
Yeah, I wanted to go through some things, but the shed has been enough messes for me.
So going through stuff, let's just go ahead and move into that one. So we have art projects of the kids up in the attic. It's in a big brown, you know what I'm talking about?
Box.
It's no, it's not a box. It's kind of looks like a folder almost, but it's really big.
Oh yeah, I put it all in an art folder from the school.
The topic was, as my wife and I are in the process of decluttering the house, they went through the kids' art projects and they were asking, how long should you keep your kids' artsy things? Forever? A year? 10 years? We've had them more than that.
I think it depends on what it is. Some of RJ's work was in the art show and is displayed in their houses. I think Zachary has a picture of the Undertaker that he drew on one of his walls, and RJ has a couple of them. But they are good enough art that was in the art show that they've displayed them. So.
Okay, well, that's fine if the kids want the art projects.
But like we have one that your mom gave us from your art projects up there, I think.
I don't think they might be.
I think we have one. It's like a collage.
It's a thing I went through where you kind of drew this thing on a canvas and then you painted in different colors of I don't know. It was really
kind of like a quilting project or a collage of some type.
It was different because my grandmother actually hung it. I had 2 of them and she hung them on both sides of the window, and I think I did get them back. But like Mona was saying, she was asking her daughter about taking some of this stuff back, and she didn't want it, like trophies and things that she had won, and
well, look at Nathan and Alexis.
Yeah, they don't do anything with their trophies.
They have all their trophies in their basement, and they both have tons of trophies.
Yeah, they're in a container in the basement.
In the basement.
I mean, it is an accomplishment, but it's like, I don't know. It
was a childhood accomplishment, so they're like over it, I guess.
I guess, but we still have some stuff. I mean, are we going to ask them if they want it?
I don't know. I guess we can, gather it and say, hey, any of you
it's in the attic,
this?
So no one's getting any. It's no different than clothing that was in your closet that you haven't worn
And
in a year. We'll just say a year, but maybe longer than that.
yeah.
And Terry's
Especially
got
with
plenty
COVID.
of closets.
Especially with COVID. I mean,
Well, yeah, that
there's
changed.
a lot of things weren't worn. You wore your same pair of sweats.
Well, I guess the other question
2 or 3
is,
pairs and kept washing them.
yeah. The other question is, would you throw it away if they say they don't want it?
It depends on what it was. I think it really depends on whether it's useful.
Well, if it was useful, we'd have it down here,
I
wouldn't we?
still have that someone made me, that chalkboard.
Chalkboard.
And
You can't
that's-
just
what
say
is
that. They
called
don't know what
you-
that is.
Yeah, what's that called that you put on there? The little paper?
I don't know. That
I don't know, but I have some gifts from parents from school that I've kept because they're useful. I mean, or they just remind me of the student or that gave them to me or whatever.
No, I know that's something that, but I just don't know if the kids don't want it.
What are we going
to do with it? Because it is sitting in the attic. It's probably as hot as it gets up there. I hope it didn't get ruined.
Oh, it might be yellowed or, yeah.
So we might be doing that. That's another project, though. Because
we need to get the rocking horse out for Finn.
Yeah, he's
Getting to the age of a rocking.
he's walking. He's eating ice cream. He's getting. It's just going so fast.
Yep.
Almost too fast, really. We only see him maybe once, twice a week, depending on the situation, and that's tough too because we don't. We're both working, and they're trying to work from home. And for those of you that are working from home, God bless you. I don't know how you do it. Maybe the kids are in school. It's different when you have a toddler like he is, and especially when he's walking around. But and I'm sure. See, that's one of the things I was thinking about when you clear out our kids' projects, because we're going to be getting more from him when he gets into school, and he's going to have grandma and grandpa written on it. I'll probably keep that for a long. Well, we'll hang all that stuff.
Yes.
Our refrigerator, we won't even know what color that it's stainless steel.
Yeah.
Because it'll just be covered in all his art projects. But when do you think it's okay to throw away our kids' stuff if they don't want it and it's not useful?
I think,
We haven't looked at it in 20
haven't,
years.
Like they have Bible school pictures. Like they usually made a frame and then they took a picture of them and I've kept them just because the pictures, like, they were memories of certain years of Bible school or whatever.
Right.
So
I'm anxious to see what is up there.
yeah.
Because it's been a long time. I see it up there, but I never really got it down. But there's so much crap up there. Maybe some of it I don't know. Maybe there's toys up there too, I think.
I cleared out a lot of the toys and gave them to my great nephew.
Because I said to you, let's get rid of it. Because the only way, because we saved it thinking we're going to have grandkids. Just sitting up there. So as soon as I start giving it away, then we find out.
We're having a great.
So maybe that did work. Maybe I should do more of that. And I have another one. Not any pressure on anybody. No pressure. What's the oldest piece of clothing that you own that you still wear?
Probably a pair of jeans. The pair of jeans you bought me with the pockets on the back when Zachary was just little. Now I couldn't wear them for a while, but I'm back in.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Terry was on a diet, a very, very tough diet that she was pretty much hungry all summer long.
All winter long, from February, March, April.
Oh, that's right. We started right before we ended this podcast. That's true.
Because I went off of it for vacation.
And you lost, 25 pounds maybe?
Yeah, probably more like 30 if you go from my highest one. But I had already started losing some before I went on it real strict. And then had to buckle down to get...
I get rid of a lot of stuff. I can't think of anything that all my clothes are old, really. I don't really buy a lot of... Every once in a while, I see a Garen shirt at Sam's Club that's $8.
Well, we when we see clearance stuff, we spent quite a bit at Sam's the last time we were in, but it was all clearance. Like we got swim trunks for everyone.
Yeah, well, $4 is hard to pass up. And then we can't go buy a kids department without seeing clothes. We're constantly buying him clothes. And the thing of it is, he's growing as fast as he's growing. A lot of the stuff that he got as a baby, I bet he didn't even wear.
I don't think he did wear everything because, well, she had him before his baby shower because of all, the preemie and all. And then some of that stuff, I mean, he was in preemies for so long and they didn't even dress him while he was in the incubator and stuff. So,
Yeah,
so that was a lot of waste. And I spent $50 or more on preemie clothes, and he might have worn them each once when he got home. And
I don't know.
That was it.
Maybe. I just don't know.
If he even wore them. Yeah.
That's the tough part is when you buy a child, a young, a newborn. I almost hate to buy clothes, but they need them. But you don't. I guess it just depends. Like, do you buy? Then if you go 6 months, 8 months, 9 months, and you have to think, okay, summertime, depending on the time of year, when's he going to be 6 months? When is he going to be 12 months? You have to think about all that. And it's not, and if you guys go to Carter's, well, we don't go to Carter's. Well, we have.
Yeah.
We usually go to Sam's when it's on.
When we were looking for preemies, we were looking for them anywhere.
But we actually did find some deals.
At
You're a wheeler
Carter's
dealer.
And at Walmart, I found a couple preemie things, and yeah.
The only other thing I can think of that's the oldest piece of clothing was probably underwear.
Yeah, you'll wear them until
I wear them until it's paper thin.
You can see through them.
It disintegrates
unless the elastic's totally gone and they won't stay up.
Yeah, that's tough. I've had that where I put them on and they're halfway down. I mean, because the elastic doesn't.
But I've had them, the lacy part that has elastic lace around the top, and looks like lace, but it's elastic until they're so hard.
Underwear is tough though because you want to be comfortable with underwear.
And especially when you have a pair that's comfortable, it's hard to get rid of.
Yeah, but if they're hanging down below your butt and not doing you any good, that's what happened to me. I had to throw that gray pair away.
Oh, okay.
It's gone. Really talk a little too much on here, to be honest. And there's too many people that I know that are listening to this thing. Yeah, TMI for sure. Okay, so I have gray underwear. It's not the whitey tighties.
Right.
I don't do the whitey tighties. Maybe I should. No. Maybe I should do the boxers. Let it loose a little bit. A little looser. I'm getting older now. Things aren't as spry as they used to be back in the day. Start taking medicine. All right, we'll move on. You're done. You're turning red. All right, let's finish this segment with what's the dumbest thing you thought of as a child? Now, they things that you would believe that you thought, like these were some things on social media. As a child, when you hear drinking and driving meant any drink. So as a kid, when you think you don't drink and drive.
Oh yeah.
So Dad had Kool-Aid. Don't be getting in the car with Dad. He had Kool-Aid or pop,
water, whatever,
soda, however you want to say it, a Coke. That one I don't.
I always knew what that was because there was alcohol through my family.
You kind of had that.
They probably had the beer open in the car, so I knew what that meant.
This one said, my mother gave birth to everyone, including my father, and probably even random strangers around me.
Meaning she's their boss, like she mothers everyone.
No, I think they really thought that she gave birth to everyone. But
that's what they were
that
meaning.
she was Eve.
That she was.
I mean, it wasn't Eve. Well, Eve didn't give birth to everybody.
That she.
Well,
is mothering to
I don't know. Is that what they mean? Because she even gave birth to her father, his father.
Right.
What do you mean, right?
Meaning that she mothers everyone.
No, they said give birth. It says gave birth. You don't think they mean it that way? I think they did. I think it says dumb thing.
Oh, a dumb thing.
A dumb thing they believed, and they believed their mother gave birth to everybody, including the father. And there's some random strangers, too. A few here and there.
Okay.
Another dumb thing you thought as a child. I thought when it started to rain, everywhere in the world it was raining at the same time. I don't know. I never thought of it that way. Sometimes it might rain here at our house. And you go park.
Maybe those children's lives were just too simple because I grew up in a family where I had a lot of better things to think about, just keeping myself safe and making sure I was out of the way.
I think a lot of people would like to have a simple life, just to think
Yes,
about
just to think
random
about
thoughts.
things like that. My thoughts were, my mom never locks her house, and
Well, that's dumb, though.
Really didn't when we were growing up. But the one time I didn't think about it, it was locked, and I was locked out at dark on the back porch, and that's the first time I ever really remember being afraid. It was like, what if someone doesn't come home? It's dark. I'm ready to go to bed.
I would find it hard to believe that people don't lock their house.
But
maybe they don't.
In this day and age, I think almost everyone does.
I would think so. I mean, there was a story about someone left the back door open, and they came home, and there was a guy in the shower.
Would that freak you out?
And it wasn't
or what?
breaking and entering because
They left the back door
open. I mean, they chased him down the street and they caught him. I don't know if he got his clothes on or not, but they didn't say that. But they said that they didn't get breaking and entering. It was like burglary. Unlawful entry. Yeah. But yeah, he was taking a shower in there. He didn't steal anything. He just,
don't leave our back door open.
Water and a soap and maybe a toothbrush.
Yeah. Ew,
He
then
brushed
you'd
his
have to
teeth.
throw them all out.
Well, you'd have to throw the loofah away. You don't know what he did with that loofah. So I would hope people would lock their doors.
Yeah, I would
Another one was a lady got into a house and was taking an Epsom salt bath or a bubble bath
in
their house. Yeah, because they didn't lock the doors. At least these are two robbers that at least were thinking about cleanliness.
Yes. Well, maybe they'd been living on the street and needed a bath.
They needed a bath. So you could,
Maybe we should open our homes to those type of people and let them bathe.
Yeah, I guess. This one said the teachers, a lot of kids, dumb things that they thought of. The teachers slept overnight at school. Every day my dad would come home from work, put a handful of change on the dresser. I thought that's what he was paid for that day. I could see that being something you believe. Yeah. Oh, Dad made 45 cents. Wow. That's about right. Well, not anymore. I shouldn't say that. I do pretty well. We've been
Seems that doesn't even buy a gallon of milk or a loaf of bread.
Not today.
Nowadays.
Holy crap. Yeah, not today. Used to be back in the day. What was gas? Well, gas was under $1 at one point when we were alive. That's how old we are.
Yep.
Lucky us. All right, that finish out that segment. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about photos and kids and photos and pets. And I listen, I know people love their pets and they love them a lot. And we'll talk about that coming up next. So you want to start a podcast. Maybe you're listening to the show today and you're thinking to yourself, boy, that would be fun. And I have a lot of things I want to talk about. Maybe today is the day. Maybe you're looking for a new marketing channel, or you have a message that you'd like to share with the world, or you just think it would be fun to have a talk show. Now, it is a lot of fun just talking to your friends. Maybe you have ideas about sports, life, or whatever your passion is. Today's the day. Podcasting is easy, it's inexpensive, and it's a fun way to expand your reach online. And where should you go? Buzzsprout. It's hands down the easiest, and it's the best way to launch, promote, and track your podcast. And your show, believe it or not, can be online and listed in all the major podcast directories in minutes, like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and you wouldn't believe how many more there are. And they make it simple to join all of them. Podcasting is not hard when you have the right partners, and Buzzsprout is the team to join. They are passionate about your success. You can join over 1,000 podcasters already using Buzzsprout. We're one of them. We've been on Buzzsprout from the beginning, and I'm so glad I joined up. I had a little bit of an issue, emailed a customer service rep, and they got back to me within 5 minutes, and they had me calm down. It wasn't that hard, and what I was doing was my fault. So here's all you got to do. Click on the link in the show notes. It tells Buzzsprout we sent you. You can support our show, and if you get a paid plan, you get a $20 gift certificate from Amazon. Now, here's some other things that Buzzsprout provides. Like, you get a great looking podcast website. Now, a lot of people think, oh, I got to get a website, got to pay for that. No, you don't. They provide it for you. Also, they have audio players. Maybe you have a website. All you want to do is promote your show on your own website. You can do that with their audio players. And you can also drop it into other websites and on Facebook or Twitter. And they help you do it all. Believe me, Buzzsprout is the way to go. They've helped me immensely, and I've had a lot of fun doing it. So maybe today is a day for you to start your podcast. And if you do, check out the link below in the show notes and get a $20 Amazon gift card. Hello, welcome back to the show. We're in segment 2 of Just Talking Out Loud. We want to thank you for tuning in. We really appreciate that. It's been a while since we've had to talk to you, and I'm hoping that people will stick. I always worried about that.
Taking a break.
Taking a break, and then people are like, we did fairly well starting late. We did 28 episodes. That's not bad for beginners. And we are still beginners. So in this segment, we're going to talk about your pets. A third of pet parents have more photos of their furry friends on their phones than their kids or their partner. That's 35%. That's according to a new research.
I can guarantee you we don't have more.
Well, I know we don't because we don't.
Than our kids are. I mean, like in our photo albums, in our family photo albums or anything. There's one here or there, a ranger, but there's tons of the kids.
Oh, no, I know. Well, right now it's all consumed by Fenn.
Yes.
That's our phone now. He is our, there's
I do
no
have
way.
a couple of the dogs,
but there are
not like.
We know of people that love their dogs, and that's, God bless you. I mean, I understand that, having a dog, they always say it's like having a child. I don't know that is really true.
You can leave the dog alone. You can't leave the child alone.
Although some dogs do not like to be left by themselves.
Rigby being the name.
Rigby's being a big one. And also, I guess the question would be, which is better? If you're going on vacation, I'm going to bring it up now. We'll just talk about it. Because we're watching some dogs, and they asked us to watch it. They were 2 beagles. And they're good dogs. They don't come out. They don't really do a whole lot. They're funny as all get out. But so what is better? Is it better to have your dog taken to a kennel while you're gone for a week? Or is it better to have your dogs being watched? Now, here's the tough part when I say this. Is it better to have your dogs watched by someone
who comes and feeds
comes and goes,
lets them out, doesn't stay there with
them? Or would it be better, like Zachary has somebody stay? Because Rigby would tear the house apart if he was by himself.
If he was by himself at night, he would tear. Yeah, he would get anxiety, and he would start opening cupboards, and he may even chew up your couch or something, just because he's anxiety ridden to be left alone. Like, you couldn't leave him alone. If you had to go someplace, you'd have to take him with you, because
I think having someone watch, Sarah's sister watched him and her boyfriend. So I think that, and then they drugged him too.
Yeah, well, they gave him his
anxiety pill. They didn't drug him. I don't mean to say they drugged. There's going to be people, what do you mean drug me? No, they didn't drug him.
They gave him his anxiety medicine when they both had to go to work.
It calms him down. Yeah, when they both had to work, then he would calm him down. But anyway, so now do you think, because when we had Ranger, we did leave him here, and they would come and go and feed him and make sure he got outside.
He was fine.
He was fine. Now, these 2 beagles.
He probably did cry at night, though. He was used to
having
us home.
I'm sure, because we didn't. The first 2 nights, I didn't hear the dogs.
I didn't either.
And then I guess night 3, I got up early and I heard them howling.
And I went over at 4:30 in the morning and tried to reassure them and took them outside. And
because it was around 2:30, I thought, what is that sound? But we were kind of where our bedroom is. It's not really that close as some of the houses are next to them. And they pretty much howled, I guess, all night long, pretty much. And that's just natural. It's not.
And that was partly my fault. I didn't think to turn the lights on in house in the day, so they would realize they were supposed to be awake. So maybe they slept
It is dark
too
in
much
that front room.
that day. And then that night,
Maybe.
they were in the dark and they had already slept, so they didn't want to sleep anymore.
But people who think that your dogs are not going to cry in a kennel,
oh, yeah, because
that's just ridiculous.
Rigby was excellent in his second year. We kenneled him, and that's the worst thing we ever did for that dog because he's been more anxiety-ridden since then because there was a storm while he was in the kennel, and they said he was afraid of storms, and he made a mess in his cage. I do not believe he was afraid of the storm. I believe the other dogs were afraid of the storm, and they howled so bad that they scared him.
Yeah, he's never been
because he's never
for storms.
like that. Yeah,
he's never done that.
He might look to you for assurance. He might jump up on the bed for assurance, but then he'll lay right on your feet and go back to sleep during a storm.
I do know when he came back, he barked a lot more.
Yes, he didn't bark. Like every time one of our neighbors' dogs barked, he didn't bark. But when he came back from that kennel, every time anyone, a car door, another dog, anything, he barks.
Yeah.
And if we would have not done that, put him in that kennel, maybe he wouldn't do that. He got some bad habits from that.
Yeah. So we got some calls and, the dog, and there's nothing you can, you could go over, I guess, but at that point you had figured out the TV.
I didn't figure out the TV till the last day they were
And that was the day they did okay, but they didn't do bad the night.
Before that, and I had left the light on all day and then turned the light off at night. But the very last day, I figured out how to get the TV on. So that night, I turned the lights off and the TV on, and I put the nature channel on just so they'd have music and stuff like that. And that seemed I didn't hear them at all that night.
No, I didn't. It's just my whole thing is.
And see, some people kennel them and they pay extra for their own room, and maybe they have white noise or something in the room, and they take their bed with them and this and that. They think, well, they're not going to cry. I still say they're going to cry because they miss you in a routine.
Until that person, whoever's like,
they're used to that, they're human.
Even in a kennel, they still need that interaction where there's somebody around,
right? And even if they come and walk them. It's not the walk they're used to. It's not the person they're used to walking.
Right. It's all different. So So I don't know. I don't know my whole thought is, they're at home. So I thought if they're at home, they'd be more comfortable.
Right.
Doesn't mean that they're not going to cry because you're not there with them, but they are still going to be. And I'm not a dog person, believe me. I have a heart. But I'm not the Tin Man. I still got a heart. And I feel bad for them.
Some neighbors had something to say, but there are 15 dogs, I think 16, within like a half a block each way of us. So if you think there's never going to be barking in this neighborhood, don't move here because, there's a lot of dogs, right?
Yeah, there's a ton of dogs.
Just in the row going up the hill and behind us.
I moved into a doggy neighborhood.
Well, it wasn't that way when we moved here.
No, we had one across one and then none because they weren't there.
Yeah.
And then none. The Corbies didn't have any. Yeah.
There was none.
So there's one back here.
Across the street,
or maybe
there was
two.
one here, and then he passed, and then she didn't get these ones until they retired.
Yeah.
I don't know about the other two back here. Did he always have dogs? I can't remember when we first moved here if he had dogs.
But my thought, again, is that to get off this subject, because get back on the photos, but I just thought that, to me, they tried the best thing. Keep them at home. Keep them. Because when I let them out that day, and it's kind of weird because usually a dog wants to go outside. So I take Buckley and Blue, that's their names, out. Is that what their name? Yeah, Buckley and Blue. Take them outside. I said, come on, guys. And they were excited. Next thing I know, I didn't even get out the door, and they're sitting on the deck howling. They wanted back in the house. I thought, man, that is strange for a dog. They had all this wide open space. They're just running.
Now, see, I never heard them in the morning when I'd get up. I'd go let them out, leave them out while I was getting ready, and then go put them back in. And I never heard them howling. Just the one time
they did their
4:30.
Business.
Yeah.
Got on with it.
Yeah.
So. All right. Well, anyway, that's our dog. I don't know what's best. What do you think is best? Best to leave them home, Or do you take them to a kennel? I don't know. Do whatever you got to do. Spend the money. I don't know what to tell you. I just think it's hard. It's hard to go anywhere when you have an animal, unless you can take them with you.
They're
doggy friendly places,
or they're, what do you call them? They're security dogs or whatever, and you take them with you.
Yeah. Oh, the
you know what
pets.
I mean?
You have oh crap. What do you call that? Support
animals. Yeah. You have support papers, and you can take
emotional support animals. There was an alligator. Someone who was just walking an alligator. She had an alligator as her support animal. Come on. Seriously? An alligator as a support animal? Who's supporting who there? Seriously. He's just getting him old enough so he can take a chunk out of her later on. It's ridiculous. Come on. An alligator? Seriously.
I know.
How do you snuggle with an alligator?
How about a big
carefully,
iguana?
Very carefully.
Big iguana, Yeah,
I don't know. Whatever makes people happy, I guess. That's what this world is coming to. That's another subject for another day. A survey of 2,000 dog and cat owners found that just 27% of respondents said that they have the most photos of their kids, and only 16 said they have the most photos of their partner. 400 pictures of their pets. According to this, on average, respondents have 400 pictures of their pets every year. They take 400 pictures of just their pet.
I wasn't even that bad when they lived with me.
I know. A quarter of respondents have shown their pet love by throwing a party just for them. And the same percentage allow their pet to smooch on them on the mouth.
The ones across the street, I think they do because they wanted to get in my face a lot.
They lick their furry balls and then lick you in the mouth.
That's okay.
Or whatever they're licking. They're sniffing other dogs' butts and then licking your whatever. Further, 1 in 6 have gotten a tattoo of their furry friend to keep them near. That way it'll never go away. The dog might pass, but the tattoo will be there.
With you, yes.
And it'll get older with you. Half of the pet parents feel incomplete when they're not near their pet. That's 52%. 3/4 have taken their pet on vacation. We talked about that. Nika goes on vacation with us. They also found that pets stick by their parents' side, including while they're cooking, getting ready for bed, or working out. We know that because Rigby's up your butt constantly. If he can get in the shower with you, he would. I don't think he would have a problem with that. He'd be right there with you. Some say they're so close to their pet that they keep their reaction in mind when making changes in their own life. Decisions like moving, purchasing furniture, deciding if they would buy a home with a yard. And that's a biggie too, because with Rigby, you'd have to have a fence.
I think that's one of the reasons Zachary picked the house he's in. It had a nice fenced-in yard
that he still gets out of.
Yes, he still is an escape artist.
He still digs and gets out.
Well, he didn't dig. He just hits the fence and goes under.
Oh, he's something. 45% said their pets sleep with them in bed.
Rigby sleeps on the end of our bed.
Yes, he does.
When we
not by
him.
choice, by my choice. That's you.
Well,
but then he's on the bed, he's off the bed. He's on the bed, he's off the bed.
And if he hears a car door, he goes to run and see if that's his boy coming for him.
85% of pet parents sweep or vacuum their floors or furniture at least twice a week because of pet hair. I do that twice a week. I don't even have, when the pets come over. Well, we didn't have Titus this weekend, so I don't have to do that.
But yeah, you still will.
When it comes to their clothes, 57% of those with shedding pets admit they've always had to remove pet hair from their clothes before they leave the house. Pet parents also have gotten used to keeping a lint roller in their car, maybe their purse or their bag, to get rid of those stray hairs on the go. And also they wash their bedding at least once a week. I would hope so.
Get rid of all the hair.
Get rid of all the hair.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. If you really love your pet, if you're letting it sleep with you and you take that 400 pictures a year, does that seem like a lot?
I think so, because I don't even take pictures of that many anymore.
That is a lot, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But we probably have 400 between us of Finn. So
probably, if not more.
Probably.
He is our first. So
he is our first. Yes, he is. So there you go. If you're going through your phone, maybe you want to count how many pictures you have of your pet and you count them up. Don't have your kids snoop through it. That's another subject I was going to bring up too, is snooping your kids' phones. But that's next. We'll do that next episode. We'll talk about that because, well, I won't say anything because I'll save it for the next one. But I saw this earlier. I think we had a discussion. Somebody had talked about why they'd gone through their kids' phones or their partners' phones. So anyway, we'll do that next episode. So that's coming up. That's like a little teaser.
Okay.
And whatever Zachary and Sarah have in store for us, maybe we'll do that. Well, we got a bunch of episodes coming out, so it's kind of exciting, kind of fun. Let's go on to relationships. And 1 in 3 people say eating this is a relationship deal breaker. So what do you think it is? Now you had said, what did you say? Anchovies?
Anchovies,
or fish?
Or some kind of.
Apparently there is something people eat that's very detrimental to a relationship in whole. And for many couples, eating together is a form of love. It's a love language. We eat together. We've done it even with our kids. We try to it's because quality time. Family kids might
time.
not. It's not about getting kids to talk.
How was your day?
I mean, they'll talk a little, but it's about making a time to sit down. And I know it's tough. Some parents work two jobs, maybe more. Some parents work different shifts because kids being at home, one has to work night, one has to work day. So you got to make do. And if you find that you're reaching for potato chips or ordering something fried for dinner, you might want to rethink that apparently. According to recent findings, a survey of 2,000 people, 1 in 3 said that if their partner ate too much junk food, it's a deal breaker. So it's all about junk food.
You're in trouble.
I know. You know what? As soon as I read this, I thought about that because back in the day, I could put down a box of Ho-Hos like there's no tomorrow.
And I'm dieting, and you got the potato chips out, and this and that, and another thing.
Well, the potato chips are the ones we had that Alexis can eat. They're supposed to be good for you.
Well,
but they're still potato chips.
They're still fried in oil. It's
and they're still
better
fried,
kind
yeah.
of oil and
participants are judgmental about their partners. Nearly half said that eating junk food is one of their worst habits. When it comes to fast food, 49% said they eat it occasionally. 38% wouldn't want their partners to do the same. So even though they eat it, we don't eat a lot of fast food. That's just something we don't.
And
we don't
never
do.
did. We didn't even go to McDonald's a lot when the kids were little. I mean, we really didn't. Everywhere. I mean, on vacations when you're traveling and you needed to go through a drive-through for a meal or whatever, or occasionally when they're playing sports and you didn't have time to make something, but we didn't. It wasn't like a weekly habit that we went through a drive-through.
No.
Like some other people I know that, their kids were involved in too many sports, and so they went through drive-thrus 3 times a week just to feed them,
Well, let's be honest. Junk food is cheap. That's why people eat it. It's cheaper than good the good food.
Vegetables and
yeah. I mean, it's just cheaper. I mean, if you're going to go, you're going to get more for your buck if you buy the junk than you would if you buy good food. Mm-hmm. That's just the way it is. Now, maybe it is. Well, see, I think fast food is expensive anyway.
I think it's just as expensive as some good food restaurants.
I'd rather sit down. We've talked about this before. We've gone to Burger King or McDonald's when we were in a hurry.
Spent more money.
Spent $20. We could have gone to Eaton Park and had a nice meal for under $20.
Yeah. Or, a little bit over, $3 over. Yeah.
More of a home feel type of thing.
Yeah.
Cooking type thing.
Or just a better meal, like a salad with grilled chicken or grilled steak or something on it.
So you think, would that have been a deal breaker back in the day? If I was eating Ho-Hos and
your mom.
You still stuck around.
Your mom tried to feed everyone a
She
nighttime snack because you guys ate dinner so
early. We did.
You got off the bus and ate dinner, and so she was always pushing the snacks all evening if you were sitting there watching TV.
Well, I think that was just because she didn't push it with us. But I mean, it's just the Italian is always.
Your sister had a snack every night. I was there.
Cereal with water in it.
Or popsicles.
Or popsicles. Yeah. I mean, that's just, I'd much rather eat a popsicle than two things of Ho-Hos that I used to do. I love Ho-Hos. Now I'm hungry for Ho-Hos.
How about ding dongs?
Ding dongs. There's nothing better than a great old ding dong. Terry, you like your ding dongs?
I do like.
All right, then. Now we're talking. Well, that's it. That's our season 2. That's the beginning of season 2. We had a lot of discussion. Dogs, a lot of dogs. We always talk about dogs. I'm not even a dog person. Seems like that's all I talk about is dogs. Don't eat junk food if you want to be in a relationship. Don't reach for the potato chips, the ding dongs, the Ho-Hos. Order something good for you, and maybe you can sneak in the bathroom. Just sneak something in there and hide a ding dong in the bathroom. Hide it, yeah, and then hide the evidence. Don't flush it down the toilet because they'll find it later.
It'll bubble.
It'll bubble right up. That's not what you want either.
Take Rigby and he'll eat the package.
Oh, he will. Yeah, you wouldn't have to worry about it because he would eat that. Kids Project, we talked about that. It was a lot of fun. We had it's good for season 2. And we hope you had a good time, stuck around. We appreciate that. And don't forget, I have to get back into the mode here because we haven't done this in a while. So you can check us out on our Facebook page, Just Talking Out Loud, or our Twitter page. We also have an email. You can email us if there's anything you'd like to talk about. I wish there was I don't know if there's a way to chat. I wish there was a chat at the bottom, like something you could say, the oldest piece of clothing that I wear, I still wear, or maybe how many photos you have of your pet. It's not like YouTube where you could actually comment underneath, say, boy, this episode really sucked or whatever. You could say that, but hopefully you wouldn't because we're just, chatting. That's all we're doing. But you can check us out there. Don't forget to subscribe. And every Monday, we'll have a new episode for you as season 2 has begun, and we're excited about that. So that's it for this episode. Thanks so much for listening.
Have a blessed week.
Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed today's show.